All right, hello everybody. So here we are with variables on both sides. So just like we've done before, I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line on our equal sign. And then we need to simplify each side of the equation. Well, I'm looking at the left side and it's already in simplest form. The right side is also already in simplest form. So that's always step one. Now step two is what's new today for us. Step two says we want to isolate the variables, but before we isolate the variables, all the variables need to be on one side. So I am going to take the variables away from this side so I don't have any more on the right side and I'll only have them on the left side. So if I want to take away a 3x, then I could just subtract 3x, right? Because a positive 3x and a negative 3x gives me 0 3x's, and that means they're gone. But we have that equal sign. It says if I do something to this side, oh, I better do it to this side. So this is the only time we move the variable. So over here I'll end up with 5x minus 4, and on this side these canceled out, leaving us with negative 39. Get my equal sign there. All right, and now we have a two-step equation. So the opposite of a negative 4 will be a positive 4. So we have 5x equals, and that will be negative. Remember, they don't have the same sign, so we subtract them, so that'll be 35. Now, the opposite here of multiplication is division, so we'll both divide both sides by 5, and that will give us, let me write it right over here, x equals negative 35 divided by 5 is 7. So x equals negative 7. Oh, didn't write that very straight, did I? All right, number 2. Let's look at each side of the equation. So on this side, we have the distributive property, and on this side, it's already in simplest form. All right, so distribute that out. We have 5x minus 45 equals 2x plus 15. Both sides are in simplest form. That's step 1. Step 2, remember, that is putting all of the variables which we're solving for on one side of the equation. I'm going to choose to move mine over to the left. And I'm choosing that only because at the end in standard form, we want the variable on the left-hand side, okay? So negative 2x, what I do to that side, I must do to this side. So this will leave us with 3x minus 45. And over here, they cancel out, leaving us 0 x's, so we simply have 15. And I don't need to write the plus sign anymore because it's the only number. So remember, when it's out front, we don't need to write that plus sign. All right, so now we have a two-step equation. The opposite of a negative 45 is going to be a positive 45. So the addition, subtraction, property of equality says you have to do it to both sides to keep them equal. So we have 3x equals, add them all up, and we have 60. 3 times x, so we can divide that by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, leaving us with 1x equals, and let's simplify this. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2, leaving us with 20. So I really just divided 60 by 3, okay? All right, so that will end up being just 20 because we have a 1 on the bottom. If you ever want to check any of these, all you'd have to do is take the 20 and plug it back in for x. Plug the 20 in for x. You could do the math, and you should get that both sides equal the same thing. If that check doesn't work, it means you've done something wrong, okay? Good time to check things is when you're taking a test, so you know for sure if you've answered it correctly. All right, so I'm going to look at both sides of my equation. Looks like the left side is already in simplest form, but the right side is not. because I see that I have two terms that I can combine. So on this side, we're just going to rewrite 4p minus 10 equals, oh, three of them. All three of them have a p. All right. So I'm going to do my two positives first. So 3 plus 1 more is 4, and then take 2 away, and we have 2p. All right, and now that's step 1. Step 2, put all the variables on one side of the equation. I'm going to move them over to the left, All right, so I'm going to say minus 2p, and that'll give us a positive 2p minus 10. And on this side, you know how we don't usually write the 0? Well, we have to this time because there's nothing else there, so we need to have something. So we just write 0 sort of like a placeholder, so it doesn't look just blank, okay? But we still have now, at this point, a two-step equation. So the opposite of a negative 10 will be a positive 10. So I'll add a positive 10 to both sides. We have 2p equals 10. I'm going to rewrite that over here since I have run out of paper. All right. So the opposite of multiplying p by 2 would be dividing by 2. So 2 divided by 2 leaves us with 1p, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, now the next one says solve for x. So we need to look over here. It says use this for number 4. So what we have here are vertical angles. And if you remember, vertical angles both equal the same amount. So this is a word problem that we could see on a test without really words, right? So other than the solve for x, so since these both equal, we can set it up and say that 11x plus 13 has to equal 15x minus 23. All right, looking at both sides, this side's already in simplest form, and so is this side. So I'm already on to step 2. That's moving the variables to one side. I'm going to choose to move them this way. So negative 15x and negative 15x. So here we have negative 4x left plus 13 equals 23. And we see our two-step equation. So I'll subtract 13 from both sides. And that leaves us negative 4x equals 6, 3, and negative 36. Because they had the same sign, we just add them. Now the opposite of multiplying by a negative 4 will be dividing by a negative 4. So x will equal a negative, and a negative is a positive. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So x equals 9. Okay, and before we finish this up, we haven't done a check. Let's go ahead and just check this one, okay? Let's put a 9 in here. 11 times 9 plus 13, and down here we have 15 times 9 minus 23. So 11 times 9 is 99 plus 13, and 99 plus 13 will be, let's see, 99. That will be 112. Well, we certainly hope we get 112 here, right? So 15 times 9, and I don't know what that is, so on the side of my paper, I'm going to say 15 times 9, 45, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, so 135 minus 23, so 135 minus 23. So I'm going to do subtract 23, and we have 2, 1, 1. Look at that. 112 checked out just like we thought it would. All right. See you on the next video.